And this is the blessing, with which Moses, the man of God, blessed the sons of Israel before his death. And he said, Yahweh came from Sinai, and rose from Seir to them. He shined forth from Mount Paran, and with him were some from the 10,000s of holy ones. At his right hand was a fiery law for them. Yes, he loves the people. All his saints are in your hand, and they sat down at your feet. Everyone will receive of your words. Moses commanded us a law, an inheritance for the assembly of Jacob. And he was king in Jeshurun, when the heads of the people were gathered, all the tribes of Israel together. Let Reuben live and not die, nor let his men be few. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, Hear, Yahweh, the voice of Judah, and bring him in to his people. With his hands he contended for him, and you will be a help against his adversaries. And of Levi he said, Bring to Levi your Thummim and your Urim to your godly one, whom you proved at Massah, with whom you strove at the waters of Meribah, who said of his father and of his mother, I haven't seen him. Neither did he acknowledge his brothers, nor knew he his own sons. For they have observed your word, and keep your covenant. They will teach Jacob your ordinances, and Israel your law. They will put incense before you, and whole burnt offering on your altar. Bless Yahweh his substance, and accept the work of his hands. Strike through the loins of those who rise up against him, and of those who hate him, that they may not rise again. Of Benjamin he said, The beloved of Yahweh will stay in safety. The Most High covers him all the day long, and he stays between his shoulders. And of Joseph he said, Blessed of Yahweh be his land, for the precious things of heaven, for the dew, and for the deep that crouches beneath. And for the precious things of the fruits of the sun, and for the precious things of the growth of the moons, and for the chief things of the ancient mountains, and for the precious things of the everlasting hills, and for the precious things of the earth and the fullness of it, and the good will of him who stayed in the bush. Let the blessing come upon the head of Joseph, and on the top of the head of him who was separate from his brothers. The firstborn of his herd, majesty is his, and his horns are the horns of the wild ox. With them he will push the peoples all of them, even the ends of the earth. And they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. And of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, Zebulun, in your going out, and Issachar in your tents. They will call the peoples to the mountain. There they will offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they will suck the abundance of the seas and the hidden treasures of the sand. And of Gad he said, Blessed be he who enlarges Gad. Like a lion he stays and tears the arm, yes, the top of the head. And he provided the first part for himself, for where the lawgiver's portion was, there the chiefs of the people assembled together. He executed the righteousness of Yahweh and his ordinances with Israel. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp, that leaps forth from Bashan. And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor, and full with the blessing of Yahweh, possess the west and the south. And of Asher he said, Blessed be Asher with sons. Let him be acceptable to his brothers, and let him dip his foot in oil. Your bars will be iron and bronze, and as your days, so will your strength be. There is none like God, O Jeshurun, who rides on the heavens for your help, and in his excellency on the skies. The eternal God is your dwelling place, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he thrusts out the enemy from before you and said, Destroy. And Israel stays in safety, the fountain of Jacob alone, in a land of grain and new wine. Yes, his heavens drop down dew. Happy are you, O Israel, who is like you, a people saved by Yahweh, the shield of your help, and the sword of your excellency. And your enemies will submit themselves to you, and you will tread on their high places.